I can't decide whether you should live or die. Why is there not a better announcement, Reiko?
Do you want me to fix it, or is it like
I don't know, it's fine.
I can't decide whether you should live or die. Oh, you'll probably go to heaven. Please don't lay your head and cry.
I got it.
I wonder why.
You're not allowed to think.
Mystical sun, shine your light on me.
I'm Mr. Bulldops.
Oh, what the fuck?
Alright, there we go. Everything's.
Is what I'm hearing true about Region and fucking...
Shut up.
Never mind. Yeah, it's true then. That's sad.
since those are upstairs, start settling down?
Why are you tall? Who
Because
allowed
I'm
you to-
putting my trackers on.
Whoops.
So.
Who allowed you to be tall? Whoops.
Not the face, not the face.
Whoops.
You got that song downloaded, good sir?
Here to your left.
It's
Or is it gonna take a minute? It's gonna take a minute then. All right.
Nice woman.
Woman?
Jesus Christ, Tricky.
Oh, God bless you.
Bless you.
We'll buy you one.
A woman?
We'll buy Tricky a woman.
I wouldn't do it from Indiana, and you can.
Hey, why are you saying goddamn it? Hey, what did I do?
Mail order, bro. Doesn't speak any English.
I
Only
like
knows world building.
Oh my god, that'd be his like dream.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh. Yo, Riku.
What's that?
My boo.
Oh. Alright, we'll be starting in a minute.
I love this. I love the hair very much.
I wonder, do I have that on?
In a minute, you say? That means I have 1 minute and 22 seconds worth of music that I can play.
Okay.
Oh god. Hello.
Who are you?
Kennedy?
Oh no.
Hello,
Who are you?
people at home.
Can it be classical music?
No, that can't be right. I'm me. But who's you?
Yeah. No, use you.
You're alive.
Hey, quit playing that shit on the phone.
All right, y'all best start answering some questions.
I've also
We're about to have some
survived.
Anyways,
No thanks to you.
one at the very end right there. That should be the one that you go
Did
through.
I not bring you some glee, Mister?
Why are you playing
Look
that
at
song?
me.
Shut up, Greg.
Now I'll burn.
That's what I was gonna say.
I am me.
Brought a knife to a
okay.
gunfight.
Fuck.
Hey,
Yo.
Yes, yeah.
Not just like a womp, bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Alright, it's 8 o'clock.
I had my exes overlay.
All right, there you go, Rico.
So I think it's time to start. So, hello everyone. Welcome. I mean, this is the first time I'm doing an event like this. It's an open mic night, as you can tell by the announcement. So, what can you specifically do for an open mic night? Well, it's similar to a talent show, but not really as a talent show. It's more like you can go up on stage and you can like tell a joke or like tell a little story about what happened this week that you thought you want to share, or like you know, like comedy. You can go up and sing. You can dance. You can do anything. Like you can do anything you want.
Women's rights.
Yes.
So, is there any questions? Any comments? Anything? None? Alright. So we're gonna go begin. Who is interested in going up on stage, line up in front of me? Just so I can have a general idea of who's going.
Get up there, Gray.
I also have a question.
Go ahead.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that is, but I guess it is.
What, you don't get that reference?
No.
Fuck.
Someone didn't have a childhood.
Oh,
Okay, it's not just me. I'm shocked by that, right?
Wherever you want. I gotta reset my computer because my voice mod's not working.
Alright. Alright, whoever's going, just line up right here. Like, line up. Just, okay. I'll be giving you a number, so you'll be going based off that number. So, like, oh, for example, Flurry is going what first? I give you number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, something like that. So who wants to go first? You know, I don't want to put you in the spot, but who wants to go first?
I would love to go last.
Alright, Sage.
Please.
Sage. Because he said that, you're going first. Congratulations.
No, I actually had said the... No, please.
Yay.
Fuck up.
Anyways, do you want to go first, Flurry?
You done
I just
fucked
got
up.
done my stream. I don't have time.
Do you want to go first, Flurry?
I'm still trying to make up my mind on what exactly to do.
Alright.
I kind of need a minute.
Kennedy, would you
I
like to
can
go
go
first?
first.
Alright,
Yeah,
Kennedy, you can go first.
I got it.
1, 2, 3, 4, and yes, it'll be preferred if you were
3.
Is it just us 4?
Yeah,
Is there, like,
I mean,
a time
so
limit to this, or
since there's only 4 of you, no time limit for now, at
Okay.
least. If anyone does
do a
want to
review.
go and change their mind, send me a DM or just approach me.
technically.
Then I can
in
allow you
late.
to go up on stage.
Can
So
they
yeah, there's no
burst their
time
door
limit.
like
Just
this is
don't
a
go for
wedding?
like 30 minutes. Just go for like, I'd say maximum 10 minutes. 10 minutes, you know? Like don't like go for like half of the event or something like that.
What about 10 minutes and 10 seconds?
It's only 10 seconds. Anyways, Kennedy, do you wish to go? You want to go now? All right. Just say your name and what you'll be doing. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Hello, I am former U.S.
Talk in
President John F.
descript, please.
Kennedy, and I will.
Throughout
Oh,
the
my bad.
house so the whole state hears it. No, it's gonna be in like a forest.
Hello, is this thing on?
Yes, it is.
All right.
working.
Yep.
Hello, my name is former U.S. President John F. Kennedy, and I will be telling you some stories of my experiences in VR chat, this godforsaken hellhole, and some stories of my real life. So let's start with the first one. This was back when I first started playing VR chat, and was wandering around the Black Cat, doing random shit, and usually I was in a gecko avatar. I was in the bathroom chatting with some people, and then this kid runs up and just goes like, "Oh my god, I love your avatar! Can I please have it? Please, 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 please!" As you could tell, I was very annoyed with this child. But rather than telling him to fuck off and, you know, blocking him, I decided to send him on a quest. So I told him, "You must first find the Goose of Evil. Return him here to the bathroom so we may sacrifice it to the blood gods. But you require a KKK Klansman to perform the ritual."
Oh no! What the fuck? Whoa! I agree, Grant. You should take the shot.
I mean, he's spitting facts.
This
though.
poor child. Only do
fucking rituals with the KK now.
I mean,
Anyway.
someone has eyes to take the shot, but okay.
Fuck, where was I? Alright. So 5 minutes go by. The kid finds a goose and someone with a fucking KKK avatar.
My god.
That was fast.
Dedication.
You had
It's fiction.
Actually,
is
no,
not
that's
a lynching. KKK did lynchings.
Romans did crucifix.
Either way, I'm sitting there, shocked that he actually managed to do it. I'm like, congratulations. So,
Whoa.
as I am a man of my word, we're standing in front of a toilet while the Klansman is holding the goose by the legs, cutting the belly open, not with a knife, a microphone, pretending that that is a knife. And just picture Naruto along with a whole bunch of geckos standing around of a toilet going, sacrifice, ooh-ah-ha, sacrifice, ooh-ah-ha, sacrifice, ooh-ah-ha.
Geckos hate black people. What? It makes sense.
And yeah, after that he became a gecko, and that's pretty much it.
Oh.
God fucking damn it.
Is there a Q&A session?
Sacrifice.
Shark meat.
That's it. All right, Kennedy. Is that it? Is that all you want to say?
Yeah. I have another story, but I think it got a little too spicy, so I'm gonna hop off.
All right.
JFK of the KKK.
Since that is all, I actually got a message from Baticus, and I'll be saying what he wants me to say for, because he can't be here, so I'll be saying it for him. I'll be doing that once everyone goes. So he wants to go next, he can go.
Why are you pointing at me?
I don't know you. Well, who's going next? Who's number two? Who's number two?
I was number two. I was number two. Foolery.
All right. Do you wish to go? Okay, go next, please.
Save the worst.
Sure.
All right. Make sure to talk in Discord.
Right.
Won't it be another KKK story? Let's go.
Testing. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Hi. Yep.
All right. I thought I'd regale you all with a few tales from my job working security. Now, these are funny stories, not the serious, insane shit I may have been privy to. My favorite one happened in the autumn of 2016. Now, can anyone remember what was going on in the fall of 2016? Can anyone tell me?
The clowns?
Yes. The clown plague that swept across the United States and was the internet rage. All these creepy motherfuckers hiding in bushes and spooking people and getting bit by dogs and shot by strangers. One of these dumb bastards walked into my store. Now, I was working as an armed guard for a liquor store in a very bad town. And for whatever fucking reason, this absolute specimen of human intelligence decided to walk into my store wearing a pretty cheap Halloween, clown costume, rubber mask, red, blue, and yellow patchwork outfit, and he was carrying one of those fake machetes covered in blood. So me, just standing there, not really expecting anything wrong that night, because it was, I think, a Wednesday night, so who the fuck knows why this particular piece of shit decided to walk into the store with the armed guard. But in comes this fucking weirdo in his fucking clown suit, and the first thing I see is the bloody machete, not so much the clown suit. So, of course, I grab my gun, and the first thing I hear out of this little bastard is a, I don't know, maybe 15, 16-year-old kid's voice go, "Oh, shit!" And he immediately pulls a 180 and goes running across the parking lot, plastic fake clown shoes flying off his fucking feet. He dives into the bushes behind the Taco Bell, and he's gone. Nothing.
It's vanished. This sounds like a
What
Wednesday roll.
in my... I still cannot to this fucking day imagine what got into this fucking kid's mind that they thought it would be a good idea to walk into the liquor store with the armed fucking guard who's 6'5" and fucking 200 pounds of meat and has a goddamn Glock on his hip. I do not understand what fucking idiot would do such a fucking thing. All right, so that is stupid person number 1.
Ooh, multiple. Electric. Oh no.
So our next beautiful individual in his wild intelligence decided to pick a fight with a very large group of hospital security officers, all of whom are built like brick or shit houses, and he is about 4 foot tall and doesn't know when to shut his goddamn mouth. I forget what exactly sparked this idiot's... Oh, I remember now. He wasn't allowed to visit his girlfriend because his girlfriend didn't want to see him because he'd beaten the shit out of her, but that's, you know, besides the point. So he immediately decides that he's going to, you know, because he's not allowed to see his girlfriend that he beat, he's going to decide to get into a fight with about 9 security guards who all have like 2 feet on him. And yeah, I'm not sure what exactly he was thinking, especially when he said, "I've got a fucking gun, I'm gonna kill everyone in this fucking room." Now, my manager, a beautiful individual who's about, say, a few inches taller than me, without even hesitating, decides to reel back and punch this fucker right in the face. I have never seen a man crumple that quickly in a fight before. I've seen some people puss out in fights a couple of times in my life. You know, usually after 1 or 2 hits, they're just, okay, I give up. This guy went from I'm the biggest badass to sobbing sack of crybaby man meat on his fucking floor. It's like, not only are you a dirtbag, not only are you talking all that good shit, but the moment you threaten to pull a gun on people who are armed and, you know, way better fucking trained than your dumb ass will ever be, the moment you get punched in the face, you turn into a fucking baby. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what goes through people's head. Well, actually, it's probably either a mixture of meth, heroin, or God knows what else they're on. But yeah, so that guy ended up going to jail, I think, for a few months for, you know, mass threat and panic and all this shit. Yeah. See, I've met a lot of dumb fucking people. Like the guy when I was working corporate security, this was a cush job. I never had any issues really on that particular account, except for the homeless guy that took a shit behind the dumpster once. But this guy, and we didn't even do anything about this guy. I was just walking around the grounds. It was a big, nice, lush campus. And I see a bunch of fucking chickens go running across the lawn. And I'm just thinking, well, for one, this is a major metropolitan area. Who the fuck has that many goddamn chickens? Like, this is like not just a few chickens. This is like 25 fucking chickens just running, hauling ass across a corporate campus. And here comes, like, no joke, flip-flops, sweatpants, wife beater covered in barbecue stains, like balding crown, fat man chasing after the chickens, like, come on back here, chickens, come on back. And I'm just like, what is going on? Why does this man have this many chickens? Like, why does he look like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Like, I don't know. I never got an answer to that one. That same job, actually, was once when we had a flood that got so fucking bad that it, like, the main drag of the street was kind of in a valley. It flooded like a good few feet. And so some dumb shit decided it would be a good idea to go kayaking through fucking floodwaters in the middle of a street. And yeah, he ended up, I think, getting tackled by the fire department. It's like, for one, it's like the water's not even that deep. Like, you could wade in it, and it's like you're going through, you think you're a badass, you're gonna go kayaking through flood water, and then you're just gonna get punched out by the fire department. So yeah, that's another example of just absolute fucking stupidity that I've experienced in this goddamn world. I have bared witness to more incidents of absolute human debauchery, stupidity, and absolute brain-dead fucking idiocy that you would not believe. Most of which would absolutely emotionally crush the average person, but my ass, some things get to me, but most of the time you just kind of have to laugh. Because at the end of the day, somebody who decides to, you know, grab an old lady's purse and run out to a street and get hit by a car, that's kind of, you know, karma at the end of the day. But Tish. My absolute favorite incident, and it's not so funny as it is just bizarre. This is the same job that I was working as an armed guard for the liquor store. There was a bowling alley next to the liquor store. It had a bar and some casino games in it. It was just kind of a piece of, you know, every dirtbag in town's general watering hole. One night, I hear this absolute commotion out in the parking lot. There's about 10 guys all beating the shit out of one dude. Now, my mind is thinking, this man is gonna die. Because he's got 10 people around him just beating the absolute crap out of him. So I tell the store manager to call the police. I'm going to go out there and start screaming at these people to break it up. So I'm hand on gun, run out there, you know, I'm called the police, security, I've called the police, and one guy turns around and squares up. I break leather. I don't even point the gun at him, just pull it out. And he goes, "Oh, fuck, dude, it's the cops." And all 10 of these people fucking scatter. They get in their cars and they drive away. So does the guy who's getting his ass beat. Like, what the fuck? The guy who's getting his ass absolutely kicked gets up, gets in his car, and drives away. Like you're the fucking victim. Like, wouldn't you want to, like, give a police report and, you know, get some fucking justice? But no, even this dumb bastard gets in his fucking car and drives away. And I'm left there standing there, gun in hand. Every cop in the fucking city has showed up, and there's nothing. There's nobody, no evidence of a fucking fight. And I'm just standing there with, like, my dick in my hand, just being like, hey guys, I guess not this time. Actually, I forgot about this one, and I will leave you on this one. This will be my last story. Same kind of job. I was working as an armed guard for not a liquor store, a grocery store. And I was just standing out in the parking lot having a fucking cigarello, because, yeah, it was the day after New Year's Day. I was just kind of, you know, smoking a cigar, kind of enjoying myself. It was a slow night. There's a drunk guy just wandering across the parking lot. That's not that uncommon for this part of town. And a minivan full of, a lovely minivan full of a mom and her kids pull up, and they're getting ready to come into the store. And drunk guy wanders right up to their van, and he starts pissing on it. He has whipped out his John Thomas in front of a van full of children and their mother, and has just started pissing on the fucking van. So I call the cops, because that's just fucking wonderful. And yeah, he's just exerting his dominance. But in our state, that's a sex offense. And this guy, not only that, is after the woman tells this man to put his fucking, you know, junk away, he tells her, "Fuck you, bitch, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you in front of your kids." So the cops show up. He squares up to a cop and drunkenly throws a punch. And the cop immediately tases this motherfucker, and then every other cop on the fucking street shows up, and they proceed to beat the ever-living shit out of this guy. I have never seen a white man get beaten by this many cops in my life before. Like, it is Rodney King levels of police brutality on this man. Like, he is just absolutely getting fucking leveled. Yeah, and he got charged with a sex offense because, yes, he whipped his penis out in front of 4 children. Congratulations, fucko. I hope it was worth it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
How is this gonna get one?
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Anyways, oh yeah, give a round of applause as well.
Yeah, you all better clap. If you don't clap for this man, I'll go kill you.
Thomas is a thing now.
Yeah, it won't be fucking monetized. Never.
Anyways, who's going next again?
Oh my god.
Blair?
Alright.
It would be me, but my fear kicked in.
You're what?
This sounds like Walmart by the country.
You have to say that
I'm
again.
sure you can do it, buddy. We believe in you.
You can go next. But you can do it, Blair. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Oh my god, Ohio, damn.
I don't even know when I go.
But if you want, like, Sage Condoni up there, you can go.
Do we drive to Ohio?
So if you want us to just turn around. If it makes it more comfortable, I'm fine with that, okay?
Don't go to the casinos in Ohio. They're all trash buckets. Go to Vegas if you want to gamble.
You got this, don't worry.
That's adorable.
Ohio doesn't exist? What are you talking about?
Alright, hey guys, my name's Blair. Sage is over there.
Oh.
So already I screwed up, and that's actually kind of fitting because I'm about to talk about some of my biggest screw ups in life. I've only been here for like what 2 weeks, and I'm sure half of you can already account one or two stories of me doing some dumbassery. So going all the way back to when I was 7 years old. I used to live in Philly. I don't know if anyone here has been to Philly, but there is the Schuylkill River, which is this giant river that borders it. And it's very beautiful. It's very nice. There's a lot of geese there. So me and my family used to always go there and feed them. One time we went there, it was spring. They had just come back, and I had this giant bag of breadcrumbs. Me being impatient, the second my parents open the door, I book it out. I start feeding it to the geese, and all of a sudden more and more started showing up. And after 30 seconds had passed, they somehow grabbed the bag from me, ripped it open, and ate all of it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. 7-year-old me doesn't realize what's about to happen. They all start looking at me, looking for more food, and then I guess one thing leads to another, and they see me as a giant piece of bread. And they are like pecking at me, like literally ripping at my clothes. And I am just booking it back to my car. Let this be on record. This was like 30 seconds in. So my parents haven't even fully gotten out of the car yet. They look out and they just see me screaming, just being chased by a flock of geese. Some of them were flying in the air. Like it was a whole on scene, like from if you saw like the cartoon movie Over the Hedge. Like when that one when that one exterminator gets like mauled by all of them. It was basically that.
Oh no.
I like dive into the car, they close the door, and they're pecking up. We had to leave. Family trip over, folks. Time to go home. Luckily I actually wasn't that hurt. It was just they tore at my clothes. Definitely terrifying though. Do not mess with geese. So that was one incident in my life. The next relates to I'm a type 1 diabetic. Was actually diagnosed on my mom's birthday, so it's a nice birthday gift from her, or for her. But I used to go to what was essentially, and people laugh about this, it's a diabetes camp. What it is, it's not a fat camp before anyone says that.
I was about to say that too.
No, what it is it's literally a normal summer camp. But they have nurses on site because if something was to happen with your blood sugar, especially during the summer when you're exercising, it can make your blood sugar drop a lot. They have people there that are trained to know what to do. Also, since it's all kids are diabetics there, it's like so they can connect and have other people who know what they go through. Besides that, it's just a regular summer camp where we all do stupid stuff. And if you stick a bunch of kids in a wooded area in the middle of nowhere who have all this pent-up energy and all share a common cause of, hey, my life sucks, let's mess up everyone else's life, it becomes very hard to control the kids.
I do just fine with that, running the syndicate.
Yeah, no, Grant, you would be great there. One story that I remember vividly, and it was because it was the last time I was there, is what I call the Kielbasa Story. So this was the last night of camp, and basically we had just like finished, like we had like root beer floats and all that, like we were celebrating, and then it was just my cabin left, Glitzen. I don't know why we were called that. It's like all of them made sense. We had like elk, we had, I don't remember, we had elk. But this camp, then the lunch ladies, I guess if you would call them that, just like put down a whole box of mozzarella sticks, and they were like, okay, we don't need these. You guys can do whatever you want with them. And they thought we were just gonna have 1 or 2. For some reason, I had 40. I had 40, and by mozzarella sticks, I mean like the string cheese things. So I'm wrong with that. I had 40 of the string cheese. I had my whole cabin staring at me in horror. And I'm like, oh yeah, I just want to see how many I can eat. That night, our counselor was like, okay, listen, as long as you don't snitch, you guys can stay up all the way till morning. Just keep quiet. So we're in the middle of the cabin, just with the headlamps, playing cards. And as each hour goes, I start feeling bad. 2 hours pass. I essentially become the Heisenberg. And we're not allowed to open the doors because there will be patrols. So I basically just I accidentally created a gas chamber, essentially. And everyone is just dying.
So it is a camp.
I'm Muslim, so I don't know if I can make that joke. But no, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And then eventually, I'm like, I can't go. Like, I went to it's an outhouse that's like maybe like 100 feet down the path. And that's actually relevant to the story. So I can't go. I went there twice. Finally, it reaches like 6 a.m. And usually everyone's awake by like 6:30. That's when the wake up happens. All of a sudden it hits me. And I'm like, I need to go now. I need to go in the next 10 seconds or else something bad's going to happen. I have never booked 100 feet so quickly in my life. I get there. I am stuck there for a literal hour. Finally, it's done. I took a look. I am not joking when it was the literal size of a kielbasa sausage. And it was so white, it could have been mistaken for foolery over here.
Oh, damn! Holy shit!
Mother of God.
Love you too, bro.
Foolery's the whitest thing I know. Dear God.
It was pale. And of course, I was like a 13-year-old kid, and basically, I became a cow. And I was a 13-year-old kid. Like, I did not know boundaries. I was an idiot. So of course, I step out and I yell at my cabin, "Guys, take a look at my dump!" And it became a camp legend. They passed me to my mom, and they were like, "Do not let him eat anything for the next day, or unless you want to die." It was as if they passed me off to her with a hazmat suit, the way they like just gingerly pushed me. Like I was a ticking time bomb.
This is your problem now.
Yes, like, no, this is your problem. Whenever I see string cheese now, I cannot help but remember that story. Whenever my parents see it, they look at me with their eyes as if they're almost pleading at me to not do something stupid again.
I do not feel about this. I don't know.
Suffice to say, if you ever see me in real life, please do not give me a mozzarella or string cheese. I don't know why I keep saying mozzarella sticks. They're not the same thing. They're not. I guess that's another thing I screw up.
Some mozzarella sticks right now.
Honestly, yeah, mozzarella sticks are pretty good. But like, I feel like a lot of the dumbassery things also relate to my diabetes. Like, for example, sometimes they're not my fault. Like once I had a teacher rip out my insulin pump during a standardized test because she thought it was an iPod. Like I'm taking the test, right? I'm just like doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and she's like walking around being like a proctor. I don't know if they do that in other countries, but in the US, a proctor is just like a teacher that they assign to like keep an eye on you when you're doing like standardized tests. And she like sees my insulin pump, and those are attached to your body. There's a needle. So she's walking around and she looks, and this teacher, I've had her before, so I don't know how it didn't go in their head. She picks it up and she's like, "Sage," look, not my real name obviously, but "Sage, you can't have iPods in class." "Ma'am, it's 2019. What do you think I have in my hand? It's not an iPod, please." And you can also see in bright white letters, Medtronic insulin pump. So she starts tugging at it. And I'm there wincing in pain, like it hurts, I can't say anything. And my whole, everyone in the classroom is just staring in horror. No one is saying anything because they're just in shock. 3 tugs, and as soon as I put my mouth to say that's my insulin pump, gone. I got to not take the rest of the test, so it worked out.
Lawsuit. No.
Honestly, the amount of stuff I could sue my school for is mind-boggling. So like that's a whole other thing, but that's just some of the ways I've screwed up in my life. There's a lot more, but I'm gonna save those for when you guys see me screw up again on the syndicate. It won't be string trees related, I promise.
My brain.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Is ruined.
I mean, I don't know.
All right, everyone applause.
Do you feel better now, Blair?
I'm playing.
You got this.
In the way. This is the best I can do.
You want someone? Do you want someone to go up with you? Like, do you want Reiko to go up with you?
You're supposed to go down in emotion. Spike, raise the crap back up. Mute in Discord.
Oh, oops. Oh, God, sorry.
If you don't want to go, it's fine.
The first room 9.
No.
It's fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Thanks, Ben.
Anyways, who wants to go next? Who's supposed to go next? I forgot. Oh, that was everyone. I don't remember.
Yeah, there were only 4.
Alright,
Rico,
then
why don't
I'm...
you go up?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Alright, I'm gonna be saying this on the behalf of someone else because they sent me something, but they cannot be here today, so I will be saying what they want to say.
I'll do it.
Alright, let me just pull up what I'm supposed to be saying. So then you guys know I have not read this before, so I'm just doing the first try and hope that it somewhat turns out decently good. So, alright. I'm gonna be... This is what Badages sent me, and this is what Badages wrote, so I'll be saying it on behalf of him. They cannot be here. So, let me begin. Hold on.
Yes, I guess that can be. That can be fine.
Alright.
No silver.
Alright. A blessed took a... How do I say this word? A blessed took a sabbatical to the fishing lodge. On the last day of his trip, he hooked the monster fish and proceeded to reel it in. The guide, holding a net, yelled, "Look at the size of that son of a bitch!" Son, I'm blessed.
Get off my lap.
Your language is uncalled for. No, Holy One. That's what kind of fish it is, a son of a bitch fish. Really? Well then, help me land this son of a bitch. Once in this boat, they marveled the size of the monster. Holy One, that's the biggest son of a bitch I've ever seen. Yes, it is a big son of a bitch. What should I do with it? Why, eat it, of course. You've never tasted anything as good as a son of a bitch. Elated, the blessed headed home to the church. While unloading his gear and his prize catch, Sister Mary inquired about his trip. Take a look at this big son of a bitch I caught. Sister Mary gasped and clutched her rosary. Holy One! It's okay, sister. That's what kind of a fish it is. A son of a bitch fish. Oh, well then, what are you gonna do with that big son of a bitch? Why, eat it, of course. The guide said nothing compares to the taste of a son of a bitch. Sister Mary informed the priest that the Pope was scheduled to visit in a few days, and that they should fix the son of a bitch. That they should fix the son of a bitch for dinner. I'll even clean the son of a bitch, she said. As she was cleaning the huge fish, the friar walked in. What are you doing, sister? The Holy One wants me to clean this big son of a bitch for the Pope's dinner. Sister, I'll clean it if you're so upset. Please watch your language. No. It's called a son of a bitch fish, really. Oh well, in that case, I'll go fix up a great meal to go with it. That son of a bitch can be the main course. Let me know when you're finished cleaning that son of a bitch.
Bitch soup.
On the night of the Pope's visit, everything was perfect. The friar had prepared an excellent meal, the wine was fine, and the fish was excellent. The Pope said, "This is a great fish. Where did he get it?" "I caught that son of a bitch," proclaimed the proud blessed. The Pope's eyes opened wide, but he said nothing. "And I cleaned that son of a bitch," exclaimed the sister. The Pope sat silent in disbelief. The friar added, "And I prepared that son of a bitch, using a special recipe." The Pope looked around at each of them. Slowly, a big smile crept across his face, and he said, "You motherfuckers are my kind of people." Haha, that's it.
God.
Oh, Badicus.
And yes, this was written by Badicus, so yeah. Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah, kind of fishy.
Is there anybody who's
Fishy
going next?
business.
Or am I good to go?
No. You wanna go next?
I guess.
Alright, sure.
I'll go after. I'll go after Gray.
Alright.
Oh, not story. I'm doing a song since everybody keeps doing fucking stories.
Look, you don't want me to sing.
Uh-oh.
See if a wet dog
It's a
can
song,
sing.
but it's a story and a song.
Technically, it is a story. What?
Ray, after the song, tell them about the first room 9.
No, you weren't even there. You weren't there. You went out
I
there.
wasn't. I don't think I was there.
Well, then the one that you were at.
Yeah.
The one I was a part of?
Yeah, the second one.
I wasn't at the second one.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. All right. Let me make sure you all can hear everything.
I thought he was in
Alright.
the third one. Been too many of them.
Did y'all hear that sound?
Do it again.
Was that you grunting?
Yeah, that's one of my soundboards. So y'all must have heard that. So y'all are ready for the song then. All right. Let me get up. Oh, cause I'm gonna need to stand. I'm too damn hot to be sitting.
He's
Yeah,
floating.
you
He's
are.
Jesus.
Two of them.
Spicy.
Yes, I am Jesus.
And then
Not really. I wish I was Jesus.
It's graces.
I'd have liquor every day. All right, 3. Oh wait. If anybody doesn't know this song, if anybody's a Witcher fan, this is one of the new songs that came out for season 2. It's pretty much season 1's version of toss a coin to your Witcher, in my opinion.
Wait, season 2's out?
Oh yeah, the whole season.
Oh, fuck.
Well, I gotta go, guys. Gonna go nap.
Can't talk.
3, 2. Oh.
She just breaks
I hear you're alive. How
Disappointing.
I've also survived, no thanks to you. Did I not bring you some glee, Mr. Hall? Look at me, now I'll burn all the memories of you. All those lonely miles that you ride, now you'll walk with no one by your side. Did you ever even care with your swords in your stupid hair? Now watch me laugh as I burn all the memories of you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been the most beautiful audience. Remember to toss a coin if you can. If anyone needs me, I'll be at the bar. What for do you earn? It's a point of no return. After everything we did, we saw. You turned your back on me. What for do you yearn? Watch that butcher burn. And into my days when I'm through, no word that I've written will ring quite as true as burn. Burn, you burn. Burn, butcher burn. Burn, 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 burn. Watch me burn all the memories of you.
Is that it?
Who the hell said boo?
Love Discord, Toto. I don't
Tell them about your porn story.
All right. Thank you. Amazing job. Anyways.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, forget it. Never mind.
Don't worry about it.
Dinfrit?
I completely forgot the porn star.
There we go. Yeah, hear me?
Oh, it's meditation.
Oh, do I have to? Alright.
Okay, dokie. Well, it's pretty much great. You did amazing. Everyone did amazing and all that stuff. I'm pretty much going to tell stories about my experience in VR chat and pretty much all my dumb shit that happened in real life. And haha, I'm not your pretty much ordinary type of best individuals, but yeah. So basically, I'll start with VR chat. VR chat was quite amazing. That's my pretty much start. I learned from it from my another friend of mine. Due to the fact that happened, a lot of shit went weird. Went down very quickly in the past 30 seconds when I got in there. So I ran into a few cool people. They were quite cool. I started talking to them. And then basically, some two individuals showed up in front of me. So I'm like, I was quite confused. So I didn't even talk when they came towards me. So they say, hey, are you a Pokemon? And I literally just did like a thumbs up emote because hi, I didn't want to talk to them. And then they literally said this, you know what? Let me jack you off real quick. I'm like, wait, hold on now. I stopped. I backed up. And I'm like, whoa. Whoa now. I stopped. I was like, whoa now. No, why? I literally stopped and muted me. I said, why? Because you have, and then they actually said this, and I quote, and I hate saying this, because you have a dick for a head. And I'm like, no, I do not. Because if y'all did not know, I was a Lampent avatar. That's why they asked that. And I'm like, no. I was quite confused on what the hell that hat, why would they do that and everything else like that. So they constantly keep trying to do it. I was running away from them. And then I changed, and then they did not know who I was. So I'm like, aha, perfect disguise 101. And then now the second part. Second part was quite interesting. I started hanging out with a couple of friends, and then another person walked up towards me. So they know who I was. So they know what character I was. I was in the Goku Black avatar. So I know all y'all keep saying it. Don't shoot. This man isn't black. So I'm like, all right, understandable. But he did not know who Goku Black was. So I gave him a fucking challenge to figure out who Goku Black was. But I gave him a hint, which is the fun is infinite. This man started thinking hard as fucking possible. I mean hard. He started thinking, and then he said the fun is chaos or chaos is infinite. So I told him no. And he constantly keep figuring out over and over and over again. I'm still waiting to this day. And then he probably gonna show up and probably once we're done. But yeah, during the fact that happened, I gave him a challenge. And then you know what? I straight up said this, and I'm probably not gonna do this once at all. So I told him this, you know what? I'm gonna give you $10 I'm gonna give you $10 or $20 once you figure it out. And then he said, all right. So he went off on his own. That's the other part. So now, the other part, which my best friend was, which I made him into my best friend, he said this, hey yo, you wanna know how I get some chicks around here and everything else like that? I'm like, no, I'm not the fucking dude. But he constantly keep wanting to ask me how to get chicks and everything else like that. So I'm like, you want to know how to get chicks? Just be yourself. But he said, you're a love doctor though. I'm like, I am not no love doctor because I don't get pussy. I don't know why or how, but it just happens. I know a lot of people start talking to me, but I don't get that like that. It doesn't do that. But yeah, most of the time that pretty much happens in VR chat where I'm in. Start mostly crazy shit. I'd start dancing all that shit, baka boopy. But now into real life matters. I used to do so stupid shit in real life. It's not even funny. So basically, once me and my friends started doing some martial arts and shit, we started training and stuff and beating ourselves up and all that stuff. So their aunt or pretty much their grandma came out the house. She said, what we're doing. My friend said, we're doing martial arts. She said, y'all two doesn't have enough ass to do martial arts. I'm like, what? I was literally laughing because of that shit because she said you literally have no actual ass. Your ass is flat as board. I was like, okay. That's quite fucking interesting. Due to the fact that I don't know why do we need that much ass to do martial arts? I mean, it happens, I guess. And then she said, you gotta exercise your ass to do anything. I'm like, I backed up away from that. I'm not finna say anything. I was literally trying to hold myself from laughter because of that shit. But that always happens. Oh yeah, here's the fucked up part. Here's the fucked up part of myself.
Great.
So this is the reason why I can't drive. So here's the thing. When my mother pretty much told me, I asked my mother, can I drive the car? She said, sure. It was already in the driveway. All I had to do was just use the cars to put it in the driveway. You know what I did when she yelled at my name? She pretty much yelled at my name. I panicked and I ran into her house, drove her into the house. So that happened. Yeah, I know it is wild. So during the fact that happened, a lot of people were outside and they said, "Oh, this man's going to get his ass whooped," because I was panicking. So yeah, I drove right into a house. That's why I need my driver's license. So I don't know if it's surprised about that, if I did get my driver's license or if I didn't get my driver's license. But yeah, that happened. If I ask to drive a car, please say no. But not in roleplay because I know how to do it. But that happens. But mostly, you already know pretty much about how I am. Some stupid shit always come across, including the fucking in permissions in the syndicate, because how I do mostly dumb stupid shit in the syndicate. All y'all probably happily know. Because that cringe shit always happens to me every single time. Because people constantly keep wanting me to flirt with Corvus. I don't know why. Fuck you. Fuck you for doing that happen.
What?
So, do you not know what happened to me in the syndicate? If you didn't know,
Nope.
My character had a crush on an automaton. So during that happened, during the fact that happened, that happened. Yes, you do remember this. So yeah, that happened, and then now, since that fucking thing happened, since that happened, a lot of people constantly want me to flirt with literally every fucking machinery, even a wash machine. Someone lured me to the fucking basement. Someone lured me to a fucking basement and say, "Hey, you know this wash machine, right? Yeah, that's a wash machine. All right, do your best. Why? What? Do what? Start flirting with the wash machine." I'm like, it started. Like literally, they said it starts the wash machine. Swish, 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 swish. I'm like, I was trying to hold in my laughter, hold in my cringe because of that. So I'm like, no. So I walked back. And then another person came in to me and said, "Hey, I want you to meet this microwave." And I'm like, I was like, why? No, that's like microwave. I cook food, like we cook food and all that stuff in there. I know.
Yeah, you do make that microwave go burn different.
Yeah, that's what they do. I make the microwave go burr.
Microwave.
And then during that, I hate it to this day. They want me to pretty much flirt with a coffee machine, and I'm like, I know it's hot and spicy, but I can't. I know it wants to get overheated, but it just happens. It just works like that. I know it's cringe. And then when Corvus showed up, they want me to flirt with Levi, and I'm like, no, I'd rather not do. I'm not. So yeah, that happened. No, I'm not doing that. And then now,
you gonna get? Would you
I don't know.
From the front or the back?
I don't know about that.
Pressing his vacuum pumps.
I mean, if it happens, it just works. Oil?
USB-D. Oil for these nuts.
Basically, yes. And then you know what happened? You know what happened a few days ago? So they walked me. So they showed me over to the slot machine. They want me to bang a slot machine.
Oh fuck! Oh, what the
Literally, and I'm like, if you literally start banging the slot machine, you get money out of it. So I'm like, no. And then they straight up said,
your magic until you hit that jackpot.
Yeah, they straight up said that, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. And then once they hit the slot machine, they literally put out a coin, and I'm like, "Hey, this gonna be your child one day." I literally just had the face plant right there because during that fucking thing mattered. So yeah, they constantly keep doing that. And then here's the stupid thing that's not even a machine. They want me to fuck an actual fucking lamppost. I'm like,
how electrifying.
yes, like literally, I straight up said that. How electrifying could that? I know I'm a lamp and all that stuff, but no.
That must be a bright idea.
I mean, you got a camera in front of you.
I know that. I'm not fucking a camera. I'm not fucking a camera. Yes, literally.
Wait, are we?
And then here's the thing. When I said no to a lamppost, I know I brighten the lamppost up. I know I brighten this day, but no, I'd rather not. I'm not gonna lit it on fire because it's pretty lit.
Slot.
Oh man.
Like literally. And that's pretty much how that happens because pretty much every time I fuck up or do anything like that, it curses the shit out of me like everything else. So basically, that mainly happens. And next time, it's probably going to tell me to fuck a fan. And I'm not going to have none.
I mean, we do have
But they're your biggest
There's
fan.
a camera in front of you.
No! We just said the exact same thing, boy.
It's a multi-tool.
So basically, yeah, that sometimes do happen every single time. I mean, I hate saying this.
There's an indent in the front. You could fit something in there.
I mean, sometimes it will happen. Sometimes people can make that. I don't know why or how. My mind is actually fucked because of that. So yeah, that happens, and pretty much yeah, my hat, like literally, like what Grant keeps saying to me, my hat is actually a whore now because that happened.
Hold on, I think he's treated sleep.
Because for some reason, I'm going to tell you this straight up. So when I was like doing just role play and all that stuff, yeah, my hat was an actual whore. I will fucking kill you. I will fucking kill you. I will fucking murder you. No, get the fuck away from me. Get away from me with that shit. So this is what happened. That's gonna that's oh my god. I'm just sitting here chilling, microwave. How about you?
Yo, I'm just existing.
Understandable, but yeah. Now you want to know how my hat became an actual whore? No.
I knew it.
Understandable. Good luck, microwave, on your life.
But the washing machine is here. You done fucked up now.
Oh, I will hate the fact that happens. If that shit happens. But yeah, excuse my partition and everything else like that. My hat is an actual whore because some shit stupid happens.
You've had 3 stories.
I know I did. That's why I'm finna leave it at that. But yeah, that's why I'm gonna leave it at that. If someone pulls out a washing machine, I will fucking murder you. That's it.
I need to get Dr. Phil.
No. No.
There's sexual attraction with machinery.
Alrighty. Who was the one that messaged me again?
Technophiles.
Was it you? Alright. You can go, and I'll go after you, because I have a story to say.
This is why you make me
Unless, who else wants to go?
We're streaming on again.
Oh my god.
Is anyone here in this? Anyone wants to go after? Anyone?
Okay.
Let me just turn on.
Alright.
Alright. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Alright. Too loud? Too
Mention to mute yourself. In via chat.
Oh yeah. Am I too loud or too quiet? Or am I just right?
You are fine.
Alrighty.
Never mind.
Now, I got a story from 2 days ago. Alright, and it's helping Chief with tech problems. You know, our boy Chief, the one we beat up every once in a while. Him.
Oh yeah.
So let me tell you, Chief is super computer illiterate. Like, I work in IT at on campus, and you know, at least like the English professors know the difference between a USB and a fucking display cable. But Chief, no. I worked with him for 4 hours a couple days ago, trying to set up an index after he upgraded from the Quest. So I'm trying to get him through like, update drivers and stuff. He didn't do any of it. He doesn't know how to update drivers, how to update Windows. It was, I don't know how he learned to use Discord. Like, I've never met someone so computer illiterate in my life, and I work on a fucking liberal campus with so many different, you know, just arrays of professors and shit.
Boo,
All right.
liberals.
I know. I have to deal with them.
Conservatives.
What did we do?
Huh? Yeah, but like,
This does not feel like the timer plays for these.
let me tell you, over the course of those 4 hours, I was just drinking like the entire time because it was just getting worse and worse. you don't understand, like, Chief doesn't know how to do anything tech. No, nothing with computers. All right. It got so bad that he has to send like a Steam report, you know, to Steam about the index so that they can help him. It's that bad.
Oh Jesus!
How long did it
He
take
didn't
for a
even know what a
reply?
display port was.
Oh my God!
How the fuck did...
Damn. This saddens me with the fact that I know you were busy doing this, because Chief was telling me about this.
It was so bad, and it's like he kept calling me over and over again after trying to, you know, do many fixes, like, you know, after restarting his computer, you know, just recall and all that shit. And like, we had to go into a different Discord channel and like fill up an entire VC trying to help him with this. That's how bad it got. It was just downright terrible. I'd never want to do that in my life, and I do fucking IT. Oh, yeah.
Rain is down horrendous.
He didn't even know what graphics card he had in his own computer.
You can just look it up.
I literally had to tell him how to do command prompts to bring it up.
Oof.
It was
command prompt.
like doing like Control R or typing CMD into your computer.
I thought it was Windows R.
Does he know what the start menu is?
I don't know how he does, but yeah, I guess.
I don't know how that could be that.
Is Windows upside down meant for Wumbo or Mumbo?
Honestly, like, you can't bring an entire genius bar into that lobby to get him, you know, to get the index all set up, because it's like, it just couldn't happen, man. And so now he has to wait another couple weeks until they get back at him. So yeah, that was fun.
Oof.
Finished
Wait,
about
still not set up?
Finished about 11 Angry Orchards that night.
Technology.
Oh, bastard.
Technology.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Make sure to do an applause.
Boo, yay.
By the way,
Remember, we're here for you if you need to go and get therapy.
We love you, Corvus.
All right. Well, I'll be telling two stories actually.
Bless you.
Because I think these are funny. So anyways, in my first year of high school, I'll give a little bit of context first before I explain the story. So in my first year of high school, there was this teacher that specifically no one liked. You know, that one teacher that like everyone always says about, like, oh, you know, like if you have so and so as your teacher, you're probably gonna die in that class. That's usually that type of teacher that people were saying. So you know, like I didn't know about this teacher, how that this teacher is potentially scary. So, you know, before I got into school, I saw on my schedule I had this teacher. Let's call this teacher I don't know. Let's call this teacher Bobby, even though it is a female. So I had Bobby on my schedule. I'm like, I didn't think about it because I didn't know this teacher. So like 2 weeks in my first 2 weeks of high school, this student comes up to me and she's like, oh, you know, like you're a first year, right? And I'm like, yeah, I am a first year. And she's like, oh, you know, if you have Bobby on your schedule, you're probably gonna die in that class. And like, why? And then that girl that approached me is like, Corvus, please mute. Okay, I think you're muted. Okay. Yeah, so that person went up to me and they're like, you shouldn't, if you have this teacher on your schedule, you should probably switch the class because you'll probably die in that class. And I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, she's very hard, stuff like that. And they were basically explaining to me about this teacher because they apparently had them. So now let's move on to
Thank you.
what actually happened when I had that teacher. So I had that teacher. I was pretty nervous, like, because I hear from people that had her the first semester about some horror stories. So, you know, I was pretty nervous, right? This teacher was the most strictest teacher I have ever had in my life. Like, I am telling you, you know, this teacher's like, you know, if you don't have the specific binder, she wanted like I think a 5-inch binder. I think it was a 5-inch. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like this really huge binder she wanted for our class. And if we didn't get that specific binder, she would give us detention.
Strict MILF, okay?
She would give us legitimately detention because we don't have that specific binder. She even gave us detention because we didn't have the specific dividers. Like, you know, we had to have 7 dividers, each with all labels. She specifically stated she wanted labels. Like, she was like, I want a label for each and every subject on these dividers. If we didn't, she would get mad at us. Anyways, I had a pretty bad experience with this teacher. So, for some context, I am Polish. My parents are Polish. They put me in ESL because I had speaking problems when I was younger. So I still had this ESL, which I didn't even know about. This teacher found out, and the whole entire year she was picking me about it. She was like, you know, you have to use your ESL. You have to use that ESL. And I'm like, I don't really need it. She's like, you know, the extra help you get, you know, all that, you know, you're probably gonna ace all your classes. And I'm like, I'm checking my mark in this teacher's class. I have a 50 because the teacher is such a really hard marker. And for each and every test, she makes us memorize 100 definitions. 5 pages of definitions, each filled with just long definitions that you probably won't even need in your life. Like, yes. I didn't do well on her tests. I mostly failed. Because this teacher was just unreasonably hard. And that's why I took summer school. Now let's move on to the horror story that happened to me. So one day, I walked in class. I didn't do my homework because the teacher didn't say anything about the homework. So I walked in, you know, I'm having my note with my mom. I told my mom what happened. My mom was like, yeah, you know, it's not your fault, it's a teacher. She knows about this horror teacher. So I'm here with my note out, right? And I'm like, Miss, here's my note. And then this teacher's like, oh yeah, here's your note. All right. And for some reason, I don't know what I said exactly, but I said something to the point where I said, my bad, to this teacher. This teacher looks at me, gives me like that death stare, like that stare that you don't want to mess with. And she's like, what did you say? And I'm like, I said, my bad. The whole class goes dead silent, and they're all looking at me and the teacher. And then the teacher's like, this teacher's an English teacher, by the way. So she's like, you know, my bad isn't grammatically correct. so, instead of saying my bad, you should say sorry. And I'm like, oh, yes, sorry, miss, my bad. I say
No.
because I was so scared because this teacher will legitimately send you to detention, call your parents, call the principal, tell the whole entire staff team about what you did. This teacher you don't want to mess with her. So I'm sitting there oh shoot, I said it. And then the teacher's like, did I not just tell you to say my bad? And she's yelling at me and I'm like, yeah, I didn't mean to. And then yeah, I sit down back to my seat. I am terrified now. I am more terrified of this teacher than I should be. Because she got mad at me because grammatically not correct. Because she's an English teacher and yeah. And yeah, this teacher gave me a 50 on my final. So yeah, anyways. Yeah, that's one story. Do I have time for another? Maybe I should say my other story. So I'll tell you about my story of the first day I got into VR chat. That first day, when you're on desktop, you don't even have a VR, right? So I'm in VR chat. I show up in this world. I think it's called the sleep world. I'm not sure if some people here might know it, but it is a sleep world. I appear in this world. Just to know for context, my favorite anime character is Levi Ackerman.
We can tell.
Because Corvus's
Fuck you for
characters.
naming me that, by the way.
Wait, you named?
It was the first name that came to my mind.
Isn't this the video you showed us 2 days ago?
Yes, yeah, I'm talking about that video. I have this all on video, by the way. So, So, I wanted to tell the story because I just remembered about that video and I thought it would be something funny to say. So, I am in VR chat. I am in the sleep world. I see someone in a Levi avatar. I go up to them and I'm like, oh my god, you're in a Levi avatar! You're in a Levi avatar! First day in VR chat, you see your favorite anime character, obviously, you'll be pretty excited about it, right? Oh god. So I have this one. So I am in this world. I see this Levi person and I'm like, oh my god, Levi, as I said, right? And then this person is like, yeah, I'm in the Levi avatar. And mind you, they started talking. Someone talking? Oh, anyways. They start talking to me. I start screaming like a little girl, mind you. I start screaming. Because I just see this Levi character and it was rather embarrassing, a bunch of people, the whole entire room just went silent because they just see me screaming because there's a Levi Ackerman avatar. And that happened.
This is why she doesn't go out in public.
And it was so embarrassing because I just keep looking back to it and just questioning my existence and why I did that. And fun fact, I'm still friends with that person till this day. That's all.
Hey,
that person was Corvus.
Let's go. Moral of the story is
no, it wasn't.
Scream at anime.
Also, you weren't yelling, you were squealing. I
Squealing?
saw the video. You were squealing.
I only watched a bit of that video though. I didn't watch all of it, but I think I was squealing. I can't do it right now because I get spanked. I get in trouble by my parents.
Spanked a little. Oh.
I get spanked almost points a grand.
Do we need to call CPS right now?
I saw it.
No.
Alright, I'm getting
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, okay? It's anyways, does anyone want to go next?
This footage is not gonna be monetized. Holy fuck. Every single one was left. No shit, it will never be monetized, my friend. It will never be.
maybe I should tell a story.
Wait, you want to go again?
Which one? You want to tell a story, Gran? Go ahead. If you want to tell a story, tell a good old story.
Do you want to tell a story?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
I can.
I mean, if you want, you can go.
Get over here. I guess
You
I'll
just
tell
dab.
the
What?
story.
What was that?
Just hitting death.
I'll tell a story.
time.
Oh no.
What type of story do you want? I've got a very long existence. What type of story do y'all want to hear?
The most embarrassing moment of your life.
Might as well go with the most fucked up you know.
The most fucked up?
Oh no.
In what brand of fucked up?
The first murder.
Funny fucked up.
Oh, funny fucked up, kid.
The most funny fucked up thing that I've experienced. Oh, I could probably do that. That'd be a military story. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, it's a fun one. It's basic training too. So there we are.
Boy.
In basic training, a little fucking green private Morte there with bald ass fucking head, breathing problems, and then lied to get in and I kind of had a bad back. But you know what? I vibed. I did what I got to do. So there I am. We're all marching to the obstacle course, and so far I had not made that many friends in my basic training platoon. There's like at least 2 to 3 that were like, they're cool people, but the rest of them were fucking cunts. They were just absolutely god-awful human beings, like the worst human beings alive to deal with. And like, they were so irritating for one reason or another. And for some reason, they didn't like me. I mean, I get it. I would understand why they wouldn't like me. I mean, I have a far larger cock than most of these people, and you can quote that one. You can quote that one down. Write about it in the comments, heathens. But we're marching there, and this person, who we'll just call Fucko, we'll call him Fucko. He moves himself in the positioning of the platoon to where he's standing right next to me, and he says, "I'm gonna fuck you up on this obstacle course," and I'm like, "Aha, okay." They do the whole like challenge thing where you gotta race the person that's next to you to see who can finish the fucking obstacle course the fastest, and it's the rope climbing thing mixed with the tread wall. Tread wall is essentially where you strap in and you gotta rappel backwards all the way to the ground, and the rope obstacle course is essentially just like a whole fucking like incline obstacle thing where you have to use ropes to get from one place to another. This dude, we're doing the whole like crawling across the fucking rope thing where we gotta keep ourselves balanced on the rope without falling off of it. This dude thought it'd be the greatest opportunity to try to kick me off the rope. He thought that he could do it, but he overextended and he flung himself. He flipped himself and flung himself, and he missed the rope that's supposed to catch you if you fall. And he landed on both of his legs and broke both of his legs.
Oh. Ow.
That's karma. He tried to fuck me up and he just flipped himself and like... Dude, and I very clearly won the race on the obstacle course.
Oh, really?
We had to
by DNF.
Yeah, he had to use a wheelchair for like the entire cycle, and I'm just like, you deserve it. He tried to run over my foot a couple of times, and I just lifted it up, and like he fell out of his wheelchair a couple of times, that sort of thing. Then he was just recycled until he was fixed. I think he's still there. There's like people in basic that are still. Like, there's people that are in basic that have been in basic for like 5 years, and it's like 5 years is the cutoff point where like your contract is over, so like you can still be in basic and just do your entire service. It's fucking wild. But
yes, the island of broken toys.
Yeah, the fucking Christ. How do I remember basic? Because I was in basic.
No,
you never forget
how
basic.
How do you never leave basic?
You break yourself or you get broken.
Sick and injured constantly.
Now, anybody else have any other questions? I'm a plethora of these things.
What was your most badass moment?
My most badass moment
in your
in
life?
what?
Yeah.
In my life.
Yeah, out of RP.
Oh well, then let's talk about everything I've done in my life. Okay. My most badass thing. Does it have to be specifically not in our roleplay, or in metaverse, like VR chat roleplay, or in general?
Preferably out
Fine,
of
I'll just
roleplay,
not.
but...
I'll just not do anything regarding roleplay. My most badass moment. Let's see here. I think the most badass thing that I've done was like I had this flash of like a vision all of a sudden, where it was like something bad is about to happen in the next like 30 seconds. And I look to my immediate left and I see like a stroller with a baby in it about to just roll into the street during the 4th of July. And like all the lights of the street lights were off. So like, you know, cars were just going by and they didn't really see anybody on the side of the street. And this baby stroller was just like vibing as it moved along. And I saw these trucks coming in and I was like, oh, this is probably what it is. This is probably what it's about to be. And like in the middle of like the biggest of the fireworks, I pulled the baby stroller back just as the trucks like went past and like the firework went up and it exploded. That was pretty cool. I felt like a god.
So real life Crossy Road.
Yeah, I was playing Frogger with a baby. With fireworks in the background.
You just hear the music in the background. It's my moment.
Listen, cut it right here. So there I was playing Frogger with a baby. And then, you know, I won. I won that game. And very clearly that baby's still alive, probably.
Someone just...
The baby
Alright, now
was
cut it there.
basic training.
We should recruit it. Someone just...
Recruit the baby? I don't know about that one. Let's see here. Anybody else? I'll do one more story. You rats all get through. I'm not doing that one.
I was gonna say that right now.
What is the gayest thing you've encountered?
VR chat.
The gayest thing you've encountered in the movie.
Do I have to talk about the Room 9 experience of being the gayest?
Oh, I want to hear about that. Yeah.
Might as well. Tricky and Panda's Room 9 experience. No! Oh, yes.
You had one too.
Well, pick one. I don't care. I'm not the one freaking out about being told.
I don't care.
I won't tell the whole story, but I'll suffice in saying Tricky, Panda, Gray, and you know, a lot of those types of people, they're porn stars now.
Yeah, call me Johnny Sins, baby.
And Medieval was the camera person.
Oh God, that's even
Poor
worse.
Medieval.
Is this true or?
Do I ever lie? Now that was a shower.
Locke sounds like he's seen it and been traumatized.
Anyway, anybody else? One more story, because I didn't actually tell a fucking story. One more story. Anything in the entirety of the world.
most beautiful place you've ever been in your life? What was the best thing that ever happened to you in life?
Oh.
That's three different things. The most beautiful place that I've ever been to sleep. What? What were the other two?
The best thing that happened to you in your life.
The best thing that happened to me to my life, and then what was the other thing? First maid stream?
I said first maid stream.
First maid stream was like everybody was too cowardly to make me do anything. So like they did very like minimalistic stuff, like making me be a dog or something. It's all recorded somewhere. But
Second one.
the second one was tricky.
Like that content.
Oh no. Was it?
And I showcased to them what would happen if you know, you get a maid stream. I made them do like 500 push-ups.
God.
And he did them. He still feels the pain. What was that? What was your topic, Sage? What was the topic that you said?
Oh, it was Jurassic's, but it was.
Well, then what was it?
The best. Yeah.
It was like the best thing that ever happened to you in life.
The best thing that ever happened to me in my life. See, that's like a two-part thing, because it's either one getting out of a relationship that lasted 10 years with a cheating whore, or finally more or less kicking the suicidal thoughts to the side for at least as long as it is now. So which one do you want?
Those are also badass moments.
Let's probably say the first one will do.
Oh, you want to know about the 10-year relationship?
Oh boy. If you want to, of
Oh, that's a whole life story. This is about to become one of those like tell your life in VR stories that you see on YouTube. Foolery knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Someone get a whiteboard and have him draw on it.
Oh god, I need to be in a Raz for this one, just for like, just to have that dissonance between the darkness of this fucking story and like what I'm wearing. Alrighty, am I wearing the hat? I'm not wearing the hat. There we go. So the 10-year cheating story. What?
Oh, sorry, just loaded it.
Well, this is Raz. This is my kobold. Anyway, 10-year cheating story. Once upon a time when I was 9 years... Well, actually, we'll start with the 8 years old. 8 years from when I started elementary school, or preschool even, to 8 years old in elementary school. It was fucking awful. Like, I was the outcast. I was, the teachers were fucking terrible because I was too social. I was too social for the school. They kept me like locked in during recess for 6 years. I was inside of, I was never allowed to go out for recess. There was always detention. My desk was always faced towards the wall. So I wasn't able to, like look at people or talk to people. And I was just, I was outcasted even within the entire fucking class. And like every single kid, they used me as like that, like the class clown, the joke that everybody fucked with. And I thought that was cool because I didn't know any better. I was a young kid and I didn't have any friends. I didn't know, social skills or social cues. And I thought that, this is just, how to live my life as easily as possible. So, that's what I did. And it got extremely fucking lonely. I receded away from like a lot of people, and I moved myself more and more onto the onto the internet, away from reality. Instead of like trying to make connections or friendships with people, I just was I was away, until I found a game called Plasma Burst 2. Plasma Burst 2 is a side-scroller thing that you can build maps on, and you can like shoot and dismember people with guns and all that shit, and like it's a multiplayer thing, so you can even have like a role play thing there. And that's what I kind of did, where I met two people in like a roleplay lobby, and they quickly became good friends of mine. One was named Lyons, and the other's name was like Lucian. Lyons was a around my age girl, who had a very rough life in their time. Their parents were abusive and neglecting and all that shit, going through a divorce, blah blah blah, terrible life for Lyons. And I didn't know any better, and I didn't know anything regarding anything, and I wanted to be as close to these people as possible because they were my friends. So we made our first family. Our family being myself as the brother, Lyons as the sister, and Lyons and Lucian soon became entangled, and they started having a relationship. A while passes, like maybe around like 4 months or so, and Lyons is not doing so well. So she's like, I want to change of scenery because Plasma Burst 2 isn't really like synonymous with being a good role-playing environment. So she's talking about it, and we're like, okay, what you want to do? She brings up the concept of going onto a chat room client called IMVU.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, okay, I'm down. I was like around 9 at this point. I was like, yeah, this is cool. I'm down. And IMVU, in the beginning, it had a fantastic roleplay community. Like, at the very beginning, it was an okay place. There was like only like 2 chat rooms oriented around like fat black women doing weird shit. But now, that's everywhere. But, blah 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 exposition. So around Lions and I and Lucian, we all start moving over to IMVU, but Lions goes dark for around a week, and I didn't get onto IMVU for around a week. So once I get onto the IMVU, I try to friend request them, and I get a friend request accepted from Lucian, and I ask him, "Hey, where's Lions?" And he says, "You didn't know? She killed herself." And I'm just there like, "What? She what?" "Yeah, she killed herself." And that destroyed me. Because this one person in my life that I had finally formed like a semblance of closeness with outside of my household. This one person that I could consider my friend or consider her sister that I chose had killed themselves. And now, it was like I was destroyed. And then I immediately, like at that moment, I was like, I'm done. There's no point to living in this life anymore. I'm fucking done. So I become suicidal. I do like 2 attempts where I tried to, commit suicide. Where it's like, one time was like cutting myself and going into a bathtub. Didn't work. Second time was trying to take more pills and I was too, chicken to take all of them. So I took like 4 and then I just fell asleep and like woke up about like a day and a half later. Not even a day and a half. It was like 14 hours or so later. And those were those attempts. But then I recede back into myself and I'm like, what am I doing? If I kill myself now, then I'm leaving nothing behind, and I'm not, nobody's going to remember me if I die now, because I had nothing, there, nothing tangible to leave behind that people would remember me for. So, what do? Internally, I'm like, the best way to leave my legacy with the message that I wish to spread is that if I take over the entirety of the IMVU roleplay community as the character of death, and therefore destroy the need for people to die, therefore killing myself as death, which would allow for me to then have my, my reasoning to finally kill myself out of character. It made sense to me, and it makes sense, in the sense of like what the message of it would be, death, conquers everything so that nobody can die, therefore dies. Death is the last person to die because nobody's dying, blah, blah, blah. To me, it makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense to all of y'all. But that was my, 9-year-old thinking regarding my last will and testimony. And so, I'd go about doing that. I knew nothing of how to roleplay. So I went to a place called the Immortal Tavern, and I started learning and taking the styles of these other people's role plays, their paranovela, like 14 pages worth of role play text for this one fucking reply. I learned that shit, and I started, being able to reciprocate that shit. I was a 9-year. I can't fucking do math. My mind is oriented around writing and creativity, so I was able to do that shit pretty well. Inevitably, I started the original format of what is now the Syndicate. I created a group called the Mortesian Army. The Mortesian Army was a compilation of, random people that I had recruited from around the, like the IMVU space, so that they can, come with me and conquer everything. This wasn't their, in their eyes, they were just, following after the charismatic leader that they know very little about. And, that was the move. That's what I did. Around maybe a year or so later, this girl by the name of Akuma Dragoncross was the secretary, or like the lead aide to a queen that we were going to invade. And the moment that we invaded in, like, there was a whole like exposition part, and like we get to talking, and I invite Akuma to our empire, our kingdom, so that they can see what it is, and like I can inevitably try to recruit them. They come through, and like, to me, everybody at that time was like very subservient to me, and they always try to like adhere to whatever I told them to do, and like whatever I said for them to do, they did. But this chick, Akuma, just did not pay attention to jack shit of what I was doing, which was like, that's different. That's kind of cool. What the fuck are you doing? And she just sits down in one of our chairs and just starts reading, just completely oblivious to the fact that like everybody's being subservient in front of them. And it's like, the fuck? And so like maybe around like an hour or two later, like all of these people that I had to deal with or like had to send out on missions were gone. Akuma and I began talking. And one, you know how talking goes. One thing leads to another. We find out we're around the same age and we click. We start getting close together. And I should have known at the very beginning, but like I was, still stupid and social cues are not my thing at that time. But there was another dude at the time who was named RG, not a reoccurring character, but RG was also like attracted to Akuma, and Akuma couldn't choose between the two of us. That's a very big, like, flag of like, something's not right here. But I was too stupid and in love to care. So, I say, listen, choose him. I'll be fine doing me. Have fun. Have a good life. And I try my best to bounce. But she comes back and says, I don't want him. I choose you because you're you. Blah, 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 exposition, so on and so forth. That was the beginning of the 10-year relationship that spawned from that. I say relationship, but it wasn't much of that. Throughout those 10 years, she had been cheating on me. Been getting with other guys, doing random shit, building up little tiny coups that she then sent out into my empire to, cause me more of a headache, to do a lot of real wild fuck shit. And like, this continued from the age of 9 to 19. And when I joined the army, I enlisted when I was 17 and I got in when I was 18 because, school, like the late entry. It was still going on for that, 18 to 19 period. I only found out when I read it in a letter that had come to me in the mail from the army. And like she said it, like she told me, like, I've been cheating on you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I see. And then, the letter stopped coming. And like, that was a painful time. And it relapsed a lot of that suicidal energy that had been building up from, age 9 to now in age 19. And like, I even joined the army for this chick. And it was like, what the fuck? Like, I did all of this for you. I created like this, like the Mortesian Empire as it was at that time. I created it so that you could be happy and you could have people that, looked up to you, that you were on that pedestal that you deserved to be, because that's how I viewed them. I viewed them as they were deserving to be on a pedestal. And like, worshipped, cherished, beloved as they were. And then she was cheating on me throughout that entire time. Relapsed suicide, like suicidal tendencies, and just an absolute disregard and care for my life. Like the first thing that I did after that period of time, I mean, within that period of time, I was already, like getting physically destroyed by the army, and then like mentally fucked up because God knows that not even veterans, but those army boys just really love to share their PTSD on the people who need nothing about it. Fucking medic sergeants and shit. But one car accident or tanker truck accident afterward, and my legs not working for a bit of time, and then I finally being able to walk after like a collection of weeks properly ish, having to do a PT test and pass it while essentially on stilts of legs. It was a painful time, and I just didn't find any real reason to exist. Pain medications became my best friend, like 6 different painkillers that I was prescribed to take at the same time. So like my brain was just dead throughout the entire time that I was in existence. Lidocaine patches and all this other shit. And I was just like, I could just take all of these and I could just no longer exist. I could just take these and just disappear. And that's I tried that a couple of times and it just didn't work. I woke up one day and like my side right here was just in absolute agony, and the medic sergeants or like medic drill sergeants and whatnot, they were just like, "What are you doing? Get up!" I'm like, "I can't fucking move. I'm in extreme pain." And they're like, "Okay, go to the hospital." And like I had to wait on a bus. I had to wait for a fucking bus to go to the hospital, and they wouldn't just drive me. And it was just like, they really just don't, like, these people don't fucking care about my existence. I don't care about my existence. The woman that I had loved for like a decade of my life, which was over half of my fucking life, didn't care about my existence. What is the point of me even being here at this point? And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm done. So one thing leads to another, and my abandonment of my will to live, persists throughout the army. I find some random, like, short French chick that was in Fort Lee, Virginia, and, one thing leads to another, and, we started, getting close, quote-unquote close, because the whole entire purpose was just to fucking disappear. Did that, went to a PX changing room, otherwise known as a mini-mall changing room, and, bounced out of the army at, like a couple of, like, at least a year or so after that, and finally came back to, the States at the ripe old age of around 20 or so, because of medical issues that just would persist because of these pain medications and the physical shit that occurred and blah blah blah. And it was just got out of the military, came to college, or like got home, went to college, and just sort of pacified. I receded back into just such a tiny little state of myself where I was like, there's nothing for me to do other than just exist and do things. And there was no point to doing these things, but I might as well just do something to pass the time until I fucking die or something. Or until I become paralyzed, and then I could just have somebody pull the plug on me. Like, that was my entire thought process at the time. And that's all because of this fucking the shit that happened in the army, this relationship that was destroyed, and just the fucking mental destruction that occurred throughout all of that. And it still persisted in its own right from the age of 20 or so up until the beginning of or around the middle of age 21, because at the age of the middle of the age 21, I created the Lolly Mafia, the House of Mortem. The Lolly Mafia, the House of Mortem, for those who aren't aware, was the progenitor to the Mortesian Syndicate. It is where the Mortesian Syndicate came from. In the first 2 weeks, we got 112 members through, very aggressive recruitment, as well as sort of an endorsement from Hey I'm B, because I think on the second day that we went out, we saw Hey I'm B in a public great black cat, and we gunned her down. We got into a firing line, and we just blasted her because she was testing her haptic suit. And the thoughts were still there at that time, and relationships were being stupid, people were being stupid, so on and so forth. Just a lot of fuckery was going on at the beginning of the Lolly Mafia that we had to settle. We had to set our foundation, we had to stake our claim. I had to push my way into the existence of the LPD's eyes. I had to fight off the Combine. I had to act as if I was a big fucking dog to these other tinier small crime groups that existed around at the time. I had to stake our claim, all the while trying not to fucking die. And it was working. It worked for a large period of that time. I spent countless hours just staying awake, streaming 12 hours a day, just doing document work for the Lolly Mafia, the House of Mortem, which inevitably gave birth to the original format of the handbook. All that shit, doing all that shit, just working out all of the shit that I was doing, writing my thoughts onto pages and penning it all down, putting it all to notes, writing poetry, writing stories, helping people, solving issues, fixing shit that was occurring in VR chat, allowed for me to think, how can I do this properly? How can I shift this shit to where it matters? And my childhood dream of wanting to die with leaving my legacy behind, mixing with the desire to no longer to die, but still to leave something behind that is worthwhile, mixed into what has become the Mortesian Syndicate now. I'm no longer suicidal, obviously. Well, actively suicidal, because I mean, obviously, seasonal depression will always inevitably come round just to kick you in the fucking dick and say, "Hey, you're garbage. Get the fuck out of here. Peace out. You done enough, but you didn't do it good enough. Get out of here. Somebody else can do it." It's obviously that sort of seasonal shit, that rolling wave will come around inevitably. But whether it's a combination of being too busy or just too defiant against myself and everybody around me, I no longer feel those suicidal tendencies to be, steadfast, to hold firm against my soul, because now I have so much more to do than wallow against myself. A relationship that failed, whether it be nearly a decade of my life or a couple of days, the destruction of it, the loss of it, will not affect me anymore. The shit that we had to go through at the beginning of the Lolly Mafia, and my god, there was a lot of it. Even up until around the beginning of the Mortesian Syndicate and more. Even further into the middle and more now in the Mortesian Syndicate. A lot of shit has occurred that has just built up my resilience against the fuckery that occurs in the world. I'm not as passive or peaceful to shit that occurs, and I generally try to keep myself as honest as possible with people, because I've lived in a lot of fucking lies throughout my days. And yeah, here we are. December 27th, 2021, almost 2022. I'm alive. The Syndicate is flourishing. And fuck cheaters. I guess that's the message we'll go here. Fuck cheaters and fuck teachers that are just god-awful. And, fucking school system. Vote Grant for president.
Fuck cheaters.
Here, here.
We love you, Grant.
All right, make sure to applaud.
I am. It's just very silent applause.
All right, does anyone want to go? I mean, there's
I should get back.
I can't do math, but 15 minutes left.
Oh, I got a story.
Got a story?
That story was 30 fucking minutes.
10 minutes. Oh.
Yeah, no, but it's a short story.
All right, make it short, cause we have 15 minutes.
Can I say the word tard? Is that allowed here?
What?
Can I say the word tard? Is that allowed?
Turd, yeah.
All right, good. All right, good.
Make sure to talk in the Discord.
I have a feisty story.
All right, perfect.
All right, let me just all right, we've all had that one kid in every high school, middle school. The one that slips through the school system. The one that's borderline shouldn't be in class with other normal people. Yeah, so this is a story about him. Over where I live, we need to take at least 2 years of a language class. And my school only had Spanish, Turkish, and Chinese. For some reason, I hate that. And I took Spanish. And so did this kid. Now, this kid hated the Spanish teacher. I mean, would absolutely just flip his desk and shit all the time. Threw his papers across the room. Just a genuine, this kid shouldn't be here kind of person. And so, one day, he brings this container of liquid ass. Now, I don't know if y'all know what that is, but it is the worst thing you can buy. It's literally just a container that just smells the absolute worst when you spray it. And
fucking stink bomb.
Yeah, so start of class. So the class starts. We get the whole introduction thing, and he starts spraying it. And it's a little bit here and there, obviously smelly. And then when everyone's leaving the room because no one can work in this stench, he puts it on the ground and stomps it, and it goes everywhere. It got so bad. The stench got so bad that like about 4 rooms. We're in the back of the hallway. Like all 4 rooms going down the hallway had to evacuate rooms because it was going between the side vents between all the walls. And
oh no.
yeah. Let me tell you, that kid did not pass. That kid did not did not survive that year. And I'm pretty sure he's still in high school. By now, yeah.
How is he not affected by it?
Huh?
How is he not affected by it?
Just hard senses, I guess. Probably a resistance to smell or some shit like that.
He trained himself the night before.
He sprayed it on his nose
He'd been
to take in the scent. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. If any of you hear that. Yep, and that's
No, you're good.
yeah. So this kid just like he'd be pulled out of class like every single day because of how bad he was. I don't know how he slipped through the school system like that. You know, just the fuck. Although our school did not have a special eds room at the time, so that's probably why. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yee boy.
Yeah, liquid ass.
Yeah.
Delicious.
All right. Does anyone would like to
Honestly,
say
why is
anything,
why is
or
that sold?
anyone want to say anything?
No one else got anything. I can.
I don't mind letting out.
Oh.
I have one as well.
I might.
Jurassic, you'll be the last one.
That's fine by me.
Wait, did you raise your hand, Jurassic?
I did.
Okay, you'll be the last one.
Reiko.
What?
Can I say something after your dress? Get your name. Can I say one short thing after Jurassic?
I cannot hear you.
Alright, there we go. Okay, I got 2 stories. One for VR chat and one in my life. I'll start with my life first. Let's say the story starts with how I cheated the system of high school. And how I'm still passing. Let's just say this. Let's say I don't accept the fact that I do carry autism. And I do have let's say those homeroom, classes that help me finish up my, studies, homework, all that kind of shenanigans. And you wanna know what I did? Whenever I don't have enough time, or ever feel like I complete the whole thing, but I feel like I could just probably look through these answers while in my homeroom class. So I told my teachers can I finish this in my homeroom class? And they allowed it. I brought my tests and quizzes in, and you know what I did? My teacher was fine with this, so I was I look up my phone, I look up the answers, and for from freshman year to today, I'm still passing, and that's how I cheat the system. I basically use my homeroom class to to pass through my freshman year through currently my senior year. Yes, that's the story of my life so far. And now in VR chat, this is gonna be short, and this was recent. This is the story where, well, it's not special, but I can say about this. This is the time where I got bamboozled by Gremlin, and Isaac was there because they were there. I forgot the name of the game, but it was played up here. We were playing pool. And let's say I did not realize what game we were playing, and I was just I was so far in a good state. I was winning most of the balls in, until I didn't realize the certain game mode it was. I gotta do this in number order, and there was a line around the 8, and I was feel he's playing games with me, and the dumb. For how gullible I was, Grandma pointed out what I needed to hit, and I followed her. Let's say, her sense of direction, and I cucked myself and apparently I stupidly gave Gremlub the win because I thought I need to hit. I thought I had to hit the 9 ball in, but apparently I need to hit 8 and 9 because I didn't realize it was like the orderly, let's say, game mode. And yeah, those are my stories. Thank you all, and have a good night.
Oof.
Alright.
Big oof.
Bravo.
Alright. Make sure to applause. Applaud.
I'm trying.
Please,
I didn't know your hands could make such a noise. I don't know the hands.
Alright. This concludes the event. Thank you all for attending.